So I will wait people to join. Sorry about the sound before. I will wait people to join here. All right. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, let me know if you hear me. I try to put my microphone, so please write me on chat if you can hear me. All right. Sounds better. All right, great. All right, so I will wait people to join. I will give you a short update why I'm here in the hospital in Tel Aviv, and what is going on in Israel. And I think that I'm going to give you some facts about what is going on here in Israel. At the same time, we're going to talk a lot about faith and why this conflict is very, very different than what we see on the news. As you know, I'm a singer, and I used to think before that it's not my job to talk about those things, about politics, about fights, but I think that we live in a different world where you can be a singer and at the same time you can talk about what you believe and to try to live all the time to be yourself and to live with peace in your heart, to know that you talk and you not stay silent because you're afraid about your career or something like this. So okay, I see people joined. So first, I want you to feel free to ask me any question that you want. I will look very soon about on the chat and to see what you are asking. I know that a lot of people really worried about what is going on in Israel. So it was important for me to do this update for you to explain you what is going on. So first, we see that in this couple of few weeks, we see some attacks, terrorist attacks in Israel. So yesterday I just uploaded in the middle of the night a video on Instagram that I said that I don't think that this is the right way to call it. It's not a terrorist attack. It's a Muslim attack. And why I'm saying it, it's not because that I want to be a racist or something. It's not about racist. It's about faith. The truth about what is going on in Israel is that there is like two religions, maybe more than two, but two agendas, let's say, in Israel, that they are in a conflict. And it's a universal. It's not only in Israel. And I will explain you why. Before I will explain you why, I want to let you know that I'm right now in the hospital in Tel Aviv, where all the victims from yesterday came here. I stayed here for a couple of days before the terrorist attack, the Muslim terrorist attack, because my daughter had something. It's not so dangerous. It's not dangerous, nothing. But she needed to stay here for a couple of tests. But it's all good. Don't worry. It's all good. So yesterday, at the middle of the night, we saw all the ambulance and the cops driving to the place of the where was the terrorist attack, the Muslim terrorist attack. We've been in floor 12, very high, so we could see it from the window. All the things that just happened. Of course, my daughter was sleeping, so she don't know anything. But I was with her. I just tried to sleep on the sofa. Of course, I didn't sleep because of all what's happened. And suddenly we heard all the hospital, like They took all the people from the terrorist attack to the hospital, so there was a lot of noise, and they called to all the doctor that was in the hospital. They said, if there is more doctors here in different floors, please come down to the emergency. There is emergency things that we need you downstairs. So they called all the doctors, and we've been there in the hospital, and we heard everything. Of course, that I stayed with my daughter. I didn't go down because I didn't want her to wake up and to see all the things that happening. And I think that this is like a short story that can maybe give you some of explanation of what is to be Israeli in those days. Because in one hand, we see the prophecy of God just fulfilled in front of our eyes. We see it. But in the other hand, we see that there is a fight against the Jewish people, the Hebrew people, and actually there is a big fight all over the world. But I think that we can see that the Hebrew people, the Jewish people, taking a very serious place in this fight. And thank you so much, Wendy. So now I'm back to what I started and what I want to tell you about this conflict. I wanted to share with you my opinion of what is going on right now in Israel. I think that there is a couple of things that the media telling us all the time that I think it's not right. And I will give you my explanation. I think that most of the time when you open news, you will see that someone from ISIS or from different organization came to Israel, and suddenly it feels like it just arrived to Israel and then decided to do a terrorist attack. And there is like a country called ISIS or something like this. This is not true. This conflict with the Muslims, it's something that we are dealing with for long years. And the reason why we're dealing with this conflict with them, and actually before we had kind of a conflict with the Christian people too. And the reason is because of the prophecies that just fulfilling right now. And of course that I'm not saying that the Christian people fighting right now against Israel, of course, it's the opposite. But let's talk about the Islam, about the Muslim people. When the Israeli people, the Jewish people, came into Israel and started to build to renew the country of our fathers in Israel, what's happened? What's happened when we started to do it? And it was before of the 48, when we rebuilt the Israeli country. What's happened? The Muslim people started to understand that if the Jewish people coming back to Israel, there is a problem in what was written in the Quran and in the prophecy of the things that was written after the Quran. Because in the Quran, it's written that the Jewish people will never back to be the nation of God, and that Israel will stay for the Muslims. So this is something that when you understand it, you can understand that it's not about ISIS and it's not about different organizations that are trying to attack the Israeli people, the Jewish people. It's about Israel and about the prophecy of the Bible. Because if the prophecy of the Bible is right, so there is a big problem to the standard Muslim believer. Because if I believe in the Quran, so it can't be that the Jewish people came back to Israel. It can't be that it's like that they came back to stay. It's maybe something that it's only for a couple of years, but it's not possible that that they are coming back to Israel to stay. So if you understand it, so you can understand that it's something very deep that we are dealing with here in Israel before we just renew the Jewish nation, the Hebrew nation, the nation of the chosen people that God chose us to renew and to rebuild this country. So when you understand this conflict, you can understand that it's not about politics, it's not about countries. In the Middle East, there was no countries before the British people came to Israel, to the Middle East and started to make borders. It's about faith. The standard Muslim believer can't live as a believer when the Jewish, the Hebrew nation is rebuilt. So there is a couple of people, and it's not, I'll not say that it's all the Muslims in Israel, that they're acting, they're fighting. But I think that a lot of the Muslim people, maybe they are not acting, but this is what they are praying for. And as a Jews, we prayed for 2,000 years to come back to Israel, and when we had the opportunity to come back, we just came to Israel. Not most, but a lot of Jewish people did it, and I think that in the future all the Jewish people will come back to Israel. So it's the same thing with the standard Muslim believer. Some of them, they are not fighting right now, they are waiting because they see that the Israeli nation is strong. But when they are feeling that they have opportunity to attack, this is what they do. So why now? I will give you two reasons why they are attacking right now Israel. The first reason is because of, I think, because of our all of our government, because right now in Israel there is a big conflict, politics conflict inside of Israel, when there is some Muslims parties inside the government. So you ask yourself, so if the Muslims they are inside the government, why they are attacking? Because they are feeling that the Jewish people are weak. Because when they are entering to the government and starting to affect the government from inside, they feel like the Jewish nation is weak. And the reason why they feel it and why they decided they succeed to enter to the government, it was because of fights between two parties from the right side of the map, actually three parties or maybe four parties from the right side of the map that fight against each other until they split and they build a government with these Muslim and parties from the left side. And again, it's not that I'm saying that all the Muslims want to attack, and I'm not saying that no Muslim can be at the government. It's not what I'm saying. As a Jew, I believe that the Muslim people need to be inside the government and need to be with us and to live together with us in Israel. But we need to understand that there is a deep problem, deep fight between those two agendas. The standard Jewish or Hebrew, I don't know how you want to call it, believer, believe that the redemption is to come back to Israel, to build the temple, as all of our fathers would pray for 2000 years. The standard Muslim believer, if you know the Quran and you read the Quran, you know and believe that the Jewish people, it's not possible that they will come back to Israel. This is the conflict. So I told you one reason why they felt like this is a right opportunity, a good opportunity to attack. The second reason why I think that this is like a good opportunity to attack, and it's not something that I just only me, it's not that only some things that I saw in the people, the Muslim people talking inside the masjid, they are saying that there is like kind of a prophecy that the Israel country will be destroyed this year. Of course, I pray every day that it won't happen, and I believe that it won't happen. I don't believe that God brought us here in a miracle, big miracles, to destroy the Israeli country. But this is what they are talking right now inside the masjid. So this is the reason, the second reason why they believe that this is like right now it's a good opportunity. They believe that until, I'm saying they, and of course it's not all the Muslims, but a lot of Muslims believe and talk on it inside the masjid. They're talking about that until the end of the Ramadan, that this is, the Ramadan just started, that it's took kind of a month. They are saying that this is the time when Allah, God, decided to destroy the Israeli country, and this is kind of a prophecy this year. So I gave you like two reasons why the Muslim people decided to attack Israel. And again, it's not about countries, it's not about organizations, it's not about Palestinians, that this word is something that not exist. Most of the Muslims in Israel, they wasn't here. They came from Jordan, from Egypt, from different places. There was never a country called Palestine. So I can speak and speak more and more, but I need to go to the Shabbat to be with my daughter. I'm staying here in the hospital in Tel Aviv with my daughter. I will try to go and to pray for those who still, that came from the terrorist attack. And I heard that some of them feeling much better. I will go to pray for them and to sing for them Refana. And that's it. I wanna ask you to pray for us and to say thank you so much for all the messages that I get from you on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm sorry that I can't answer everything, but thank you so much. It's not something that I taking just like this. All your support, all your love for me, for Israel, for this, this movement, that all the things that we are doing here together, because it's not about me. It's about to bring the redemption, to bring the truth to the media, and from it to grow together with music, with love. I'm not afraid to talk, not only to sing, but together we're doing it. So I want to finish with something happy, and then I will read some of your questions if you have. I want to say that we need to trust God. As I spoke before, as I said before, we know that prophecy of God happening. So we need to stay strong, and the Israeli people are strong. We are a nation that fought, and people tried to attack us for 4,000 years, and we're strong. So don't worry, and thank you for your prayers. And now I will see your question, and I will come back to my daughter. Thank you so much, Wendy. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Eva, you much stronger than you think, Eva. You're really strong. We have inside of us a soul, and soul it's according to what the Jewish faith, our soul it's part of God. So if we have inside of us part of God, we are strong. So Eva, you are strong, and I will pray for you. And thank you for praying for my daughter. Yeah, yes, yeah, I will see. Thank you for singing for my daughter. Oh, send me if you're singing to my daughter or Fana. It's amazing. I will show this for her. Thank you, Mark, for praying for Israel. Thank you so much. Shalom, Miriam. Yeah, exactly, Eva. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you so much. All right, so have a great Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. This Shabbat called the biggest Shabbat, Shabbat Agdola. It's a Shabbat before Passover. It's a really important Shabbat. So pray, and pray, because this Shabbat have a lot of secrets that can do great magics in this world. So pray, and we know that in this month, 3,000, almost 4,000 years ago, there was the first redemption of the Jewish people, the Hebrew people. So according to the Jewish faith, in this month we will have another redemption in Nisan. So pray that it will happen this year. Shabbat Shalom.